Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Grow My Salon Business podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Whitaker, and as always, great to have you here with us today. This is a weekly podcast for the ambitious stylist and salon owner. Every week, I either bring a guest onto the show or I'll dive into a new idea or revisit what I think are the foundations of what it takes to succeed in the salon industry today. We'll feature new startups and new ideas and initiatives from established people and brands as well. Now, some of them might at first sound a little bit too niche, but we'll explore why they're worth keeping an eye on, how they'll reshape client expectations, and how they might very well become central to the future of the salon industry, and perhaps even become the new normal. Now, with every episode, I will aim to bring you practical and actionable opportunities that you can run with today. Now, today's guest is Frank Brormann, a German hairdresser, salon owner, and inventor of Calligraphy Cut, which is a new tool and a new way of working with hair. So in today's podcast, we're going to discuss what exactly is Calligraphy Cut, how it could potentially be a new cutting service to offer your clients, and the experience of being on Shark Tank, and so much more. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Frank Brormann.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Well, Frank, let's jump straight in the deep end here. You have got this very interesting tool, which I've been sort of hearing about over the last couple of years in different media, etc. And I really wanted to get you on today to talk about Calligraphy Cut. So that's the entire focus of the conversation, is what is Calligraphy Cut? Is it, well, first of all, is it a tool or is it a specific haircut, so to speak?
No, it's a tool. It's a tool which enables you to create a very special haircut. So both. Okay.
So tell us, how did it come about? I mean, you've been hairdressing, I don't know how long, but a long time, maybe close to as long as what I have been. So, you know, were you sort of standing behind a chair, sort of doing clients with scissors, maybe a razor, whatever, and then one day you thought there has to be a different way of doing this? What was the sort of the birth of the idea for Calligraphy Cut?
You see, as soon as I get bored in life, I try to do something new. Or if I master something, I try to be the junior in something else, in something completely new. This is the story of my life. I'm a hairdresser since more than 44 years, and I've traveled more than 60 different countries in the world doing hair, like doing makeup, hair, long hair, short hair, cutting, everything. And at one point, I got bored. I think, okay, scissors, razors, dressing long hair, dressing up hair. Is this everything which is all about hairdressing, or can there be something else? And then there was this magic moment, like the explosion of the idea of Calligraphy Cut. And that was, I was buying a bunch of flowers for my girlie. And the florist in the shop, she told me, Frank, please remember you have to cut the stems on a diagonal. And whenever you tell me to do something, I will always ask why. And if you have a good answer, I will follow. But even if you have a good answer, I will try something different. So that's what I did. I came home with my bunch of flowers, tulips actually. And in my kitchen, I tried to cut them with a kitchen scissor, like a really kitchen scissor. But a scissor is squeezing a flower stem. And now I want the whole of the audience to feel what I say, and not only to listen, to feel. A scissor is squeezing a flower stem. So I straight away realized, no, that's not a good idea. So I tried with a really sharp knife out of my kitchen. So, and that was quite easy. It was nice cutting the flower stems. But on the one point, it was difficult. If you do it from away from your stomach, you kind of peel the stems. If you do it coming towards your stomach, it's dangerous for your stomach or your body. So it's not that easy to cut it in a perfect angle. But at one point, I realized, okay, now I've got it. And I watched the flower stem and I realized that I increased the surface by nearly 3 times. So that's a secret for the freshness of flowers. So that was the first part of the birth of Calligraphy Cut. I asked myself, Frank, I'm a hairdresser. I've worked with all the tools in the world. Why don't we cut hair precise on an angle to increase each single surface on each hair? So a woman has got about 100,000 hair and a man as well. if we could increase the surface by nearly 3 times, there must be a difference. But then I lost my idea. I put the flowers into a vase, and like 10 days or 5 days later, I took the flowers out of the stem. And at that point, I realized that every flower stem started to bend towards the direction I cut it before. So, and that was the birth of Calligraphy Cut. So the conclusion is, if we cut a flower stem or hair on a perfect angle without squeezing or damaging, we increase the surface and we get like flexibility and movement into each single hair. And this is without chemical treatment, it's only by using a different technique. So that was the birth of Calligraphy Cut. And then I was looking for the perfect tool. So I think I purchased every kind of blade-covered tool. I don't want to call it razor on earth. The most expensive, the cheapest ones, but nothing. There was no tool to be able to cut it like the way I wanted it, plus safe for my fingers.
Okay, so that's really fascinating about the flower stem, and I was totally with you as you were talking about that. The amount of times that I've got a bunch of flowers and I've cut them on the diagonal, because I've always been told cut them on the diagonal because it increases the amount of water that will be taken up the stem, keep the flowers alive for longer.
Yeah.
But then the other part of my head is going, okay, but if you increase the area of the cut, like if you've got a strand of hair and you cut it at right angles, you're decreasing the amount of area that's exposed.
Yeah.
If you cut it on the diagonal, you're increasing the amount of the cut hair that is exposed.
Yes.
And so the hairdresser part of me is going, doesn't that make it more likely to fray? Doesn't that make the hair more likely to split because you have increased that amount of area?
No, that's razor. That's we call razor cutting. You see, if you don't control the angle, the blade is touching the hair. You kind of increasing the surface so much that that you weaken the hair and damage the hair. So we have to work with a precise 21-degree angle. The blade has to cut each single hair. You see, this 21-degree angle is used millions of times every hour around the globe, because every professional razor for like homemade shaving, like Gillette or Wilkinson, they all work with a 21-degree angle. And the 21-degree angle is so important, because if you slide with your shaver, I call it shaver now, on your skin, of your face, the blade is kind of pulling on the hair, it's cutting the hair, but always on a 21-degree angle. So that as soon as the hair grows out of the skin, it keeps off being soft. It's not harsh, it's strong.
Okay.
And it cuts precisely, soft and precise. And the calligraphy pen is the only tool in the world which has got this precise 21-degree angle patent.
Got it. Okay, that's really interesting. So the razor, so the calligraphy pen increases the open area of the cut area by 3 times.
2.7 exactly.
Okay, and a razor would do it even more so, would it? And that's why it's more likely to split and fray.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. What problem does it solve? Like you as a hairdresser before, maybe you used the razor, maybe you used scissors, maybe you used, there's all sorts of different tools that have been used to cut hair over the years. What problem did it solve for you? I understand what problem it solves for a bunch of flowers. It keeps the flowers alive longer because more water gets absorbed up the stem. But for a haircut, what problem does it solve?
You see, I'm a hairdresser for a long time, and when my dad he taught me to work with razors. Then I moved to London and I worked for Vidal Sassoon and Tony and Guy, and I worked with scissors. So with Calligraphy Cut, I basically used the knowledge of both. So the precisest tool on earth is a blade, always. If you cut flowers, vegetables, meat, the blade is the sharpest tool on earth. The scissor is different, it's completely different. You can do precise haircuts with a scissor, But now with the calligraphy pen, you have the cleverness of both, and it's opening up a completely new world. You see, I've presented the calligraphy pen last year to Anthony Mascolo. In my point of view, he's God in hairdressing. Whatever he achieved in his life, and he used the tool and said, Frank, this is magic. It opens up a new texture for hair, and it's the most creative tool he has ever had in his hand. So, which problem does it solve for me? It opens up a new world of creating haircuts with a calligraphy pen. So, and I can promise every hairdresser in the world who touches a pen and works with a pen, you keep everything you have learned before, and you will experience a completely new world. That sounds interesting.
I haven't seen the tool. I haven't seen anybody use it. Oh, okay, so you're holding it up in front of me now. I can see it. Right, okay. So that's the first time I've seen it. I haven't used it or held it in my hand or whatever. I haven't used it to cut hair, but I'm intrigued by that. My sort of instant feeling is, as a hairdresser, is that it's probably really effective on looser haircuts, more softer haircuts, as opposed to a solid shape like a bob or a graduated bob. It feels, from what I know about it, that it's more like sculpting hair, and it's more free flowing. Am I not right about that?
No, you're not right. You can use it for everything. You can. I mean, I've got very short hair, as the ones you can see on YouTube. So you can cut very short hair. I can cut your hair with it. I can cut damn straight lines. I can cut soft lines. When I started with the calligraphy pen, like more than 10 years ago, I created it because being from Germany for fine and sensitive hair. But now we can work on specialized curly hair, coarse hair, every type of hair. You can shape and cut, and you get even this, you achieve even this new texture. It's always soft. It's always blended hair. You cut the hair on an angle, and this angle creates movement in each single hair. So suddenly you create likeness in hair and movement. The hair is easy to style. It doesn't split that easy anymore.
Do you use it on wet hair? Do you use it on dry hair? Is there I can imagine, again, just my own preconceptions of, having worked in Asian countries a lot. I'm thinking, this would be a great tool to use on Asian hair. Are there any particular areas that you find that it really excels in?
Please always use a calligraphy pen on wet hair, because our vision is to create healthy hair. And the blade can only cut healthier when you work on wet hair, not on dry hair. So I have been in Asia beginning of February in this year, 2025, first time to do classes in Japan, in Tokyo. And it is going to be a revolution in Asia, I promise. Because especially on really straight hair, you can get this movement into it. And it feels softer without using any chemical treatments, just by using the pen. And if you use the pen, it looks like, that's why we call it calligraphy. You hold it like a calligraphy pen, like you have.
Right.
I mean, when you're doing a haircut, it looks completely different. It looks more artistry. And for the clients, from the point of view of the client, it always feels like a massage. A scissor haircut, you never feel anything. Razor haircut, kind of hurts. A calligraphy pen is like a soft massage of your scalp. So it's a new experience for the clients. It's a new touch of the hair. The hair is completely different. And for the hairdresser, and this is something what really can change the industry. When I presented it first time in the United States of America, I was invited by a very popular hairdresser, and he invited some other hairdressers, and everything he did was he invited me to the audience and said, he holded up one of the pens and said, this is going to be a game changer in our industry. This was before the pandemic. Within a short weeks, we had 250 salons in the United States working with the pen. And everybody upcharged a haircut by $50.
Wow, okay.
I mean, I'm from Germany, and in Germany, we can't do what the Americans can do. They can make money. They can see the potential of having something unique, something patent, made in Germany, produced in Germany, and a really good story about it. And you can sell a story, and we have a proof of concept as well. So to upcharge a haircut suddenly by using a different tool and education, because the tool always comes with education, you can upcharge in the United States easily $50, in England £25, and in Germany €25. You have 4,500 hairdressers working with a pen in Europe.
Good. Now, I know that we have a lot of our listeners will be watching this on YouTube. The majority of them will just be listening on a podcast, but you keep holding it up, and I'm curious, for the people that are on YouTube watching this, where is the cutting surface?
The cutting surface is at the top of the pen, and it's very small. It's very narrow. It's only up here, tiny little bit. I can't even cut my finger.
Yeah, I can see. I can see that.
It is really safe, and I force every hairdresser to do precise cutting. So this is not a. If I give this pen to like Anthony Mascolo, I gave him the pen, and without 1 second of education, he created our last collection, 3 beautiful haircuts, because he has got this gift, whatever he touches. Yeah. But like for a qualified hairdresser, he needs 4 hours of education. It's not a plug-in. It's not a plug and play for every hairdresser. You need a minimum of 4 hours of education, because there are certain rules to how to work with the pen, because of this narrowed opening space for the blade. So you think you need longer for each haircut, but no, it's not. It's only the first 10 haircuts you need a little bit longer, and after that, it's even faster than every other tool in the world.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How long does a haircut typically take using that tool? And basically, you're saying it doesn't take any longer. Once you've done a few of them, it's like 6 1 after the other.
That's it.
Okay. What is the resistance that you get from it? I mean, a lot of people get very set in their ways, and this is what I use, and this is the only tool I'm going to use. What do you find the resistance is that you get from hairdressers about it?
How much time do we have? I think I have heard everything.
Okay.
I've heard everything. Most of the hairdressers say, okay, it's a razor. Where's the difference to razor? And then I'll ask them, please play with it. I give them a mannequin head, wet down the hair, and let the hairdresser play with the tool. And then if he feels the difference, he's going to purchase our concept, and he's going to be a partner. If he doesn't feel the difference, I be honest, I wish him to stay with his tools he's used to work with. I don't want to have all the hairdressers in the world to work with my tool. I want to find the right one to work with it.
Yeah,
because I can promise something with the calligraphy pen. I can bring you joy in your life. Again, joy in your life with cutting hair. I can bring you healthier hair for your clients. And very important, I can bring financial success for you and your business.
Okay, well, that's what it's all about. I can't get the thought out of my head. When I asked you before, is it best on wet hair or dry hair?
Wet hair.
I like cutting wet and dry. And you said you were very clear about the fact that it needs to be used on wet.
Yes.
So therefore, if I were using it, I would try it on dry, because I'd have to know why.
Yeah.
So what is the reason why it's not so good on dry hair?
You see, when the hair is wet and you use the pen, it's like cutting warm butter with a knife. It's so soft. You don't feel any resistance. But as soon as the hair is dry, the hair is much tighter, and it's much more difficult for the blade to go into the hair and cut the hair. And because of that resistance, you're not damaging the hair, but there's a danger of damaging the hair.
Right.
And my question is always, why working on dry hair? It's much if you see it's better for the hair of your client when you cut it wet, why working on dry hair? But again, talking about Anthony Mascolo, if he wants to work on dry hair, he works on dry hair. So if you have got like a soft hand, if you're a talented and gifted hairdresser, you can work on dry hair. But if I now, being the founder of Calligraphy Cut, if I would now give the world the message, you can work on dry hair, that's not good. Wet.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I will look forward to trying it one day to test it out myself. It sounds really, really effective and really interesting. Now, what sort of? I know you said that salons can charge more, and you've seen salons charging more, whether it's in the UK or Germany or the US. What sort of financial impact have you seen that it's had on salons in general, and repeat business, clients having it and then coming back and all that sort of stuff? Have you got any examples of that?
Yeah. If you introduce Calligraphy Cut to your salon, 100% of your clients will try the Calligraphy Cut first time. Roughly about 92% is the second time, and the third time it's about 74%. We are on the market now for 10 years. We have these numbers. So if you start in your business with Calligraphy Cut, after 6 months, you will have 3/4 of your clients purchasing the Calligraphy Cut for an upcharge of £25 or $50 in the States. So there's a huge, huge business impact for your business, money impact for your business. Like in Germany, we say per stylist, you can make 10,000 euros more revenue per stylist a year. So like for a hairdressing salon, they can double the profit within 1 year.
Right.
Can double. And Anthony, I know this sounds unreal, but we can prove it. Everything we need a hairdresser, not to, okay, give me the tool and I will play with it. No, please follow our guidelines. We have everything digital. We do online, off-site and online seminars. We give you all the education. We give you all the marketing. We give you everything you need. We even launched something we call the 21-day challenge. So if Anthony, if you would start with your education now, maybe after 4 hours you're ready and you will start in your salon, I would still ask you, I can't force you, ask you, please follow the 21-day challenge. That means every day you will get a push-up notification on your phone. You open it and it's 10 minutes of motivational video content. How to cut a curtain bang, how to cut a straight line, what to do with resistance, what is the best way to do a consultation, and so on. So 21 days, and we know if you do this 21 days, every day, 10 minutes, it's a new habit. And suddenly the tool is not something which you're not confident with. No, it's something you're very confident with. And if you follow our guidelines, you can really double your profit with your salon.
Okay, interesting. So I know you have a interesting business model in terms of how you sell the pen, for want of a better word. Can you talk to us about that? And how cost effective is it, like, compared to a pair of scissors? In fact, that's probably not a fair way to ask the question, because I know you have a different business model for how people access it. So do you want to talk to us about that, about what the business model is as to how people can purchase the tool?
Yeah, it's a different business concept in Europe and in the States, or outside Europe. In Europe, it's a subscription model. So everything you need to do is you pay 54 euros or 50 pounds per month per tool, and you get everything you need to be successful. All the marketing materials, all the online education. Offsite education is extra. You have to pay for that, but it's a no-brainer. You pay 54 euros and you get everything to make a minimum of 1,000 euros more revenue per month per stylist. So this sounds very easy, but hairdressers are different. They want to own the tool. But you see, in Germany, it works superb, because I was on this biggest TV show in Germany. So it really pushes us. So in the States, we are selling the tool. It's $1,249 US, and it includes all the digital education as well. So in the States, at the moment, you can buy. In Europe, it's a subscription model.
Right. So when you buy it, sorry, I didn't catch it, how much it was. Is it 500 and...
No, $1,249.
12.49. Right. So comparable to a expensive pair of scissors, a good quality pair of scissors. You'd still be able, to pay that much. But in Europe, you never actually own the tool.
No.
That's correct?
Yes.
So is that the same in the UK? You don't own the tool. You're literally leasing the tool.
In the UK, the business concept is so you own it after you paid, I think, 48 times 54 pounds a month. So it's the same. You at the end you pay like 1,200 pounds and then own it, but you pay like month by month. So it's like a payment plan.
Right. Okay.
You see, Anthony, in a few years, when we are reach the market in England and in the States, we still want to change it back to a subscription model as well. But to start in a country like the States or in England, where I don't have a TV show in my bag, we had to choose a different business concept. That's why you can kind of buy it in England, and you can definitely buy it in the States, which is very important. Yeah, in a few years' time, I do want to change it to a subscription model. You see, the subscription model is magic. Someone who is not successful with a pen is going to return it. So with a subscription model, I can guarantee a high quality, educated hairdressers. Because you're only paying if you have a benefit out of it.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, as you've said, you've been a hairdresser for a long time.
Yeah.
I gather you still have a salon and you work behind the chair in a salon.
I've got the third biggest salon in Germany. It's 600 square meters. It's huge.
Wow.
We have
Yeah.
34 members of staff in my salon. But I'm only working 4 hours a week in my salon because I love to be a hairdresser. I don't want to miss it. But Calligraphy Cut is my future. I want to bring the pen to the world of hairdressing.
Yeah. And is it being used a lot? Well, obviously it's being used a lot in your salon. Do you want to...
95% of all the clients, they get a Calligraphy Cut. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And do you have a premium price on it in Germany? You do.
We have 3 different levels of education with a pen. You always start with a Black Star. It's a black pen.
Yeah.
After you have received your Black Star certification, we recommend that you should do roughly about 100 haircuts. Then you can upgrade to Silver Star. You will get educated 7 new techniques with calligraphy. And then you will, after the certification, you reach your Silver Star level. That's when we recommend to upcharge the price again. And finally, there's only one seminar with me, Frank, in person. It's a Gold Star seminar. And then the pen is gold. It's completely gold. Now I'll hold it up in the camera. It's golden.
Okay. Yeah.
It's always the same pen. It's always the same pen. It's only a different color to show the level of your education. And this is always a chance to upgrade your cutting service as well.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of resistance to the business model of leasing the pen literally? I mean,
in Germany, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, massive.
Massive. Right.
If
Okay.
I would have sold the pen in Germany, we probably would have sold, I don't know, 100,000 already. Yeah.
Right.
But now we're only 4,500. But these 4,500 are really successful with the pen.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I'm not a tool seller. I want to develop the hairdressing business. I want to give hairdressers joy and financial success. And I can prove I can do that. You see, if a hairdressing salon commits to do a subscription model, Calligraphy Cut, they commit to Calligraphy Cut. They're not just buying a new tool and putting it in the drawer. So it's a completely different attitude. So if you say yes to Calligraphy Cut, you're going to say yes to a new concept in your salon, upgrade of your cutting service. So like when I presented Calligraphy Cut at Shark Tank in Germany, it's the biggest TV show, consumer show. Oh my gosh, I've received an investment from 1 million euros, so it was very successful. But after the show, Anthony, you should have seen that I received thousands of messages, especially from older hairdressers. They were really upset. Frank, how can you question the scissor? How can you tell our clients Calligraphy Cut is the best way to cut hair? I said, hey, come on. Are you still using an old phone? Are you still working with Nokia or Ericsson, or are you using the newest Google or Apple? So the world is changing. Don't stop.
Yeah, that's a fair analogy.
Yeah.
You call it it's called different things in different countries. So here we call it Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
America, they call it Shark Tank. Is it called Shark Tank in Germany?
In Germany, it's called Höhle der Löwen.
Well, I shouldn't have asked, should I? But does that translate to Shark Tank?
Lion's Den.
Lion's Den. Okay, I knew there'd be another one in there. So we've got Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, Lion's Den. But either way, it's the same format. It's a bunch of millionaires or billionaires who are being pitched
Yeah.
business concepts. Right. So I wanted to ask you about that because I know 2 or 3 other hairdressers that have also been on Shark Tank. How was that for you? I mean, obviously, you're a successful businessman. You've got successful salons and stuff. I don't know whether you needed the finance or whether you just wanted the marketing expertise. I mean, I always, when I watch, Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, I always watch like it's good entertainment. Because some people don't know what they're doing and they should never have gone on the show so unprepared.
Yeah.
And for the sake of good television, sometimes the dragons, don't make it easy for them. So I'm curious about your experience with it, being a guest on there, trying to raise the finance. How did that go for you?
I prepared myself really good. I've got a personal coach. She coached me like days before how to react to which question, how to talk to. There have been 5 potential investors in front of me. So how to talk to A, B, C, D, how to answer for which question. So I was really coached. I had a really tough coaching to be in this show. I was excited to go there. I'm a hairdresser. I've done shows around the globe, and I love being on stage. Being in front of television, TV cameras, it's being on stage. And from the first second, it was a home run. I was there for 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, 2.5 hours on TV live. Now, TV was 26 minutes. We had nearly 4 million people watching the show. Yeah. And before the show, I had 70 new clients in a year. And after the show, I had 700 new clients every day.
Literally wanting Calligraphy Cut.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The business exploded. The business exploded. But the hairdressers, my problem is the hairdresser. It's not the client. I can say Calligraphy Cut to any client in the world. And every client in the world is willing to pay more money for a haircut which guarantees healthier hair. And hair is easier to style. The problem is the hairdresser. The hairdresser always believes, no, I used to work with scissors and blades, and no, I'm not willing to learn something. The industry has to change, or we have to go with the changes.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious about the Dragon's Den thing. Was there one particular dragon that you went in there wanting to get because they had an area of expertise, whether it was in, technology or, whatever it was? Was there one person that you thought, that's the one I want?
When I came up with this question to my coach, I said, okay, one lady, she's famous for beauty and beauty business. And I told my coach, I'm going to go for this lady. I want to catch her. And my coach said, no, Frank, you just avoid her. Yeah, make her jealous. You go for all the other 4, but not for her. And that's what I did in the TV show. That was amazing. So there was one guy who was only dealing with loads of stuff, and he's like a wholesaler. And I was in the TV show. I said, hey, I want to tell you his name now, but I said, hey, I want to do business with you because you are so different. I don't want to work with beauty, but beauty is easy. I want to work with you because you know how to make big numbers. And so in the TV show, they started to fight for me. So there was the first one who said, okay, 500,000. And the next one came up with more money. Then at the end, I stopped it with 1 million. I said, no, that's enough. I don't want any more. And the next one came up and wanted to give even more money. The TV channel said there was, without the last 10 years, 600 startups, and I was number 5.
Wow, fantastic. Fantastic.
But because I'm a hairdresser.
Yeah. So did you get the dragon that you wanted in the end?
2 of them. Yeah, 2 of them. I got them. Yeah, but they didn't stay in my company for a long time, only for about 6 months, and then other investors came and paid them out. And
right. Okay.
The TV show in Germany, they say the marketing value is 10 million euros. So even
to be on the show and get that exposure.
Even now, 7 years later, the people stop me in the streets and ask me, it's a real push. It's a real push. Yeah.
Yeah. So getting those two dragons originally,
Yeah.
did they, I mean, you were on TV, so that created huge awareness and huge,
Yeah.
branding, etc. Did you, with the dragons that you got, did they bring some business acumen and some expertise that you didn't have that enabled you to take it the next level?
Absolutely. Because one of these two dragons is a tech guy. He's never doing anything with beauty. And he had a look, he looked at my business and said, Frank, we have to change everything. We are not anymore a paper industry. This is a digital industry. And you have to digitalize your business. And this is like 6 years ago. And until today, I think we invested more than 4 million euros in digitalizing everything. So I think now Calligraphy Cut is one of the most modern companies in the hairdressing industry. Everything is so modern, so digitalized. Now we are at this point, at the moment, we are using AI to optimize every process, and the speed is 10 times every week. It's incredible. So this is something else I would like to ask our industry for. You have to work with artificial intelligence.
Yeah, definitely. So the dragon that you ended up getting,
Yeah.
the guy that you spoke about, the tech guy, was it his idea to do the subscription service?
Yes, as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fascinating. That really is fascinating. I love those sort of stories. I did an interview years ago with the founder of Tangle Teaser in the UK. The brush.
I know the ones. Yeah.
He did. He also went on Shark Tank in the UK. He didn't get funding, and he was glad he didn't get funding. And he ended up building a multi-million-dollar company, very, very successful all over the world. So yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting, and I love those sort of stories of people, going out on a limb and standing in front of, 4 or 5 very intimidating people with a lot of business acumen and TV cameras pointing at you. It could so easily go wrong.
Yes, that's what I was afraid of. But you see, I didn't want to get funded as well, because to grow Calligraphy Cut, everything I need is not money.
Yeah.
I need marketing and publishing and the right people to get into my business. So I didn't want to get the money, but at the end, they offered me so much money. So
great.
And still, it's not about the money. You need expertise, and that's what they gave to me. Especially the tech guy. He gave me his expertise to grow the business. Yeah. And the lady, she wasn't there for a long time because she wanted me to sell my tool to all of your clients, but not to hairdressers.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, it's good when they come up with ideas like that.
Yeah. But I said, no. This is my baby. I'm not going to give it to non-hairdressers. This is a professional tool.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, this has been fantastic. It's been a great education. It's not every day a new tool comes along for doing hair, whether we're talking about cutting or coloring or, in any other area of technology. So I was fascinated to learn all about it from both aspects of, the creative context and also the business opportunities for hairdressers and salon owners and, how it works with clients. So whereabouts can people find out more about Calligraphy Cut?
Instagram, Calligraphy Cut, or our website, calligraphycut.com, or US, our website works everywhere in the world. And then just get in touch with the company. Yeah.
Okay. I'll put them in the show notes for today's podcast, and they'll be in the links on our website, growmysalonbusiness.com. If you're listening to this podcast episode with Frank Brormann and you've enjoyed it as much as I have, then do me a favor and share it with people that would enjoy it. I've been hearing lots of really positive things about it, so it was good to finally have the opportunity to talk to the man himself. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a rating and review on the Apple Podcast app. So to wrap up, Frank, thank you for being on this week's episode of the Grow My Salon Business podcast. It's been a real pleasure having you on.
It has been my pleasure, and I wish to be better in my English, to speak better English.
Listen, your English is good, and it's 100 times better than my German, so which is pretty negligible. So don't apologize at all. It's been great to have you here.
And please, to your audience, be like a little kid and play with new ideas.
Good parting words.